Hi students, my name is Emily Zaborski and today I will be talking to you about how to pitch your startup idea. So let's start with the basics. What is a pitch? Well, it's a way to communicate to and convince others that your idea is worth backing. Usually this is when startups are looking for investment, but it can also be used when trying to convince industry experts or partners to jump on board, or in your case, to show a panel of judges that your idea has potential as part of a competition. What it should be is short and concise, delivers a story, defines the problem, and is engaging, and it sparks interest so that people want to know more. What it should not be is an opportunity to share every concept or feature you can think of. It shouldn't be boring or content heavy or confusing. This is also a way to show investors or partners who you are, why they should trust what you're telling them, and why should they want to work with you. Remember, most of the time you're pitching to someone, they are completely new and they have no idea what you're trying to achieve. It's easy to fall into a trap as a startup founder to assume that people understand your vision. And when you're thinking about your concept day in, day out, you forget to go back to the very basics. Essentially, this should be your why. And in truth, every company started somewhere. Those big brands that we now know and love would have used similar techniques to the ones we will cover today. So let's see if we can identify these three companies based on their first ever pitch decks. So this company here says the problem is price is an important concern for customers booking travel online. Hotels leave you disconnected from the city and its culture, and there's no easy way to book a home with a local or become a host. The solution was a web platform where users could rent out their space to host travelers. And they provided some information about the market size. 630,000 that are on temporary housing site couchsurfing.com and 17,000 temporary house listings on Craigslist between July 2009 and July 2016. They've provided a bit more about the total market size across the world and right down to trips, and a bit about the product with a bit of a demo of how it would work. Any ideas? Of course, this is Airbnb, or Air Bed and Breakfast as it was originally called. What about this one? Meet Matt. Matt spots a girl he likes to party, but like most of us, Matt won't go over to say hello. He has the problem most of us do, fear of rejection. Any ideas? Tinder, of course, originally called Matchbox. And finally, this one, storage is a mess. It's 2007 and it's still a pain to work on multiple computers, share files across a team, put photos, videos onto the web, and protect files from loss. Currently, people have to use email, USB drives, browser uploads, and piecemeal solutions. Ideally, your files will be available wherever you are on any device. You'd never worry about losing data, and you can always undo it. And sharing and putting media onto a web is just drag and drop. Of course, Dropbox keeps files in sync across computers, backed up, accessible from anywhere, and it's easy to share. It just works. So who am I? Well, my name is Emily, as I mentioned. I currently work for an insurance company called IAG in the technology side of the business. I'm currently in a team called Insurance Platforms that looks after the technology for all insurance-related claims and policies that happen throughout the company and its brands. This is an exciting place to be. There's a lot of complex work happening with lots of incredibly intelligent people and a lot of money being spent on software solutions. I'm also a women in technology advocate, but outside of my day job, I own a mobile coffee van. I started this mobile coffee van in 2018 and quickly acknowledged lots of problems in this industry, which sparked me to start up my own business, which previously called Coffee Van Collective, now called Vendorly, is a software platform to help event organisers find and manage mobile coffee vendors and soon we'll be launching that platform out to the public and to event organisers. Throughout this pitch presentation today, I'll be sharing with you some slides from Coffee Van Collective, from a couple of pitches that I've done over the last couple of years. They're by no means perfect, but hopefully they will give you a bit of an insight into what types of things you need to include in a pitch when you are presenting to investors or judges or partners or anyone really. So what goes into a pitch? Well, this is a standardized, tried and tested format for structuring your pitch. And in a moment, I'll run through each of these topics with some examples from my pitches in the past. I can't claim that the version I did is 100% perfect, but it's a starting point, and there are some good examples online for you to look up also. So you'll see here, there are sort of 10 or 11 things that generally go into a pitch, but this will vary depending on the time that you have available. The most important ones are defining the problem and defining your target market to show that there is demand for your problem and your solution. So firstly, the title slide. This can be something really simple. Just make it engaging, and you don't need to put too much on this, just something to let people know who you are. Next, the vision. Ideally, you have 10 seconds to engage your audience. A quick overview of the business for context setting and setting out the vision. I like to include an image on this slide. You'll see here I've actually included a real life example from one of the other coffee van owners in my network. So Coffee Van Collective is a software solution to simplify the operations of the mobile vending community and to facilitate bookings with event organisers. Next, I've just done a bit of an example about me to set some context as to why I've decided to go into this startup opportunity. This really sets the tone with the audience because they can relate to why I'm really doing what I'm doing. So for me, I acknowledge that I started my coffee van business in 2018. I grew my coffee van community network with over 5,000 other vendors in Melbourne and Perth. And I run monthly info webinars to help people in this industry and to educate on how to properly run a mobile coffee van. I also started a podcast last year, which provides that domain expertise and allows investors to really get to grips with my understanding of the industry. I talk a little bit here about why I got into mobile coffee vending and the problems that I saw emerge throughout my time. But the next slide is where we really go into the problem. So here, the increasing costs and complexities of running a mobile trading business are causing stress and frustration and financial troubles to emerging and existing vendors. This slide should really demonstrate why do you care. Do not include your solution here. Be succinct and avoid buzzwords like game changer. Have some factual information and try to relay the problem in a relatable way. Some of the judges may not have experience with your problem, so try to make them see it through someone else's eyes. Here I demonstrate that mobile coffee vendors find it really hard to find trading sites and or manage bookings. The current options are slow, ineffective and clunky. They're primarily done through Facebook groups, Google searching, lots of liaising, calling, emailing, and it causes a lot of stress and wasted time for vendors and event organisers, and essentially a loss of profit at the end of the day. I also think you can include a slide, if you have time, around who we are doing this for. I like to demonstrate very clearly who are the users of our solution. This actually gives our audience a better understanding of who we are doing this for. And it's great to demonstrate almost a customer persona type. So on my slide, I've got our independent mobile vendors. These people struggle with managing inquiries, liaising with organisers, and having a central calendar to manage all their work. In my scenario, I've got event organisers split into two categories. The single event organisers, who often are volunteers, footy club members or parents of a P&C, and they don't know where to look to find vendors. They need to be guided through the process and they want it to be simple and efficient. On the other end of the scale, we've got large event organisers. Normally, these people are pretty organised. They want to be able to streamline their expression of interest process and build vendor management plans for upcoming events. And finally, councils. Councils struggle with the huge load of incoming inquiries from both vendors and event organisers. They want to be able to easily access documentation like public liability and make sure that compliance is being followed for events within their council. When I'm going through this slide, I normally give these people names. This helps to make it more relatable for the audience too. So I might say, John from the footy club needs some help finding a local coffee vendor for the upcoming footy season. That really makes it pop with the audience. So the next section is around our target market. Avoid defining your target market as large as possible. Your target market is not always your end user. If that's the case, make that clear. Your target market is the one who pays for what you're offering. Here you're identifying the market opportunity to succeed. You want to include the demographics of your target market. And this is where you're telling the story about the scope and the scale of the problem you are solving. Now, it's very likely that you will have to put some assumptions into your market size. So, for example, I have estimated that there are around 625,000 mobile coffee van bookings being made every year. This has been done based on the assumption that there are 25,000 mobile vendors in just one of the Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and I have then extrapolated that out across the rest of Australia and assumed that they are all trading on Saturday and Sunday, and they are getting on average one booking per week. So I make those assumptions clear, but I also don't want to overload the audience with a huge load of numbers and confuse them. So I just put this simple stat on the page, and I do tell them that there's the opportunity to dive into these market size numbers after the pitch if they want to connect with me. Now we talk about the solution. Describe your product or service and how customers use your product or service. Why are you the one to solve the problem? Make sure you are clear on how it addresses the problem that you have outlined. You can include your unique selling point, and you need to show that your business has differentiation. Photos, screenshots, prototypes are really great things to use here to demonstrate the solution that you have built. You'll see here on the slide, I have got an image on the right, which is a snapshot from my current platform, just to demonstrate what I'm trying to do. Another way you can do this if you haven't yet built the solution is to use software like Figma or Canva or even PowerPoint to just mock up what you are trying to achieve. It doesn't need to be too detailed, just something basic to demonstrate. So here I say that our Coffee Van Collective solution is a holistic support network. It's a search engine and a booking platform, and there's a member profile to manage bookings and access benefits. This provides more transparency and security for both vendors and hirers. As well as that, we're accessing the power of the collective. We're providing supplier discounts to our members. We can run sustainability initiatives, which are hard and expensive for solo operators, and we can capture data that's not captured anywhere else in this industry. Another slide that we'd like to include is competition. It's important to make sure that you've looked at what competition is around you and demonstrated how you are going to be different or better than the competition. So what is your unique selling point? Have a think and do some research on the other products out there that are similar. Remember, it doesn't always matter that there are similar products out there. This could actually help your case if it proves that the concept is working successfully elsewhere. For example, Car Next Door, which was acquired last year by Uber, first got the idea when they saw it being implemented effectively in Europe, and they realised that they could be a first mover in the Australian market, but following a similar business model. So on the screen here, you'll see that I have just put some of our major competitors and ourselves into a matrix against the cost and the functionality of the solution. You'll see that some of the current solutions, whilst they are cheap or free, like Facebook groups, they have low functionality or they're clunky or ineffective or inefficient. Whereas some other options, like, for example, creating your own website and search engine optimization in the top right there, that has high functionality for a mobile vendor, but it's incredibly costly to do that on your own. So as a centralized platform, Coffee Van Collective provides a unique value proposition in that we can create a real-time calendar view. We can provide advanced data analytics to our members, to event organizers and vendors, and also supplier discounts and consultancy services. Next, we go into the business model. The business model should demonstrate how you are driving revenue. Is it a membership, or is it pay per use, or is it commission? What do you charge? Are you a premium high price offering or a budget offering that undercuts existing solutions in the market? Again, this is very heavily based on your assumptions and logic. So make sure that you're just creating something that's simple, but can clearly demonstrate how much you anticipate spending to reach your solution and when you anticipate getting revenue from the services that you are providing. Our model here, which has changed significantly since we've evolved into our new product, Vendorly, assumes that the revenue based on $29 per month and 2 bookings per van per month. This suggests that we will have a low or no code solution in year 1. We'll invest in a custom dev solution in year 2, which was about $50,000, which would see us turn a profit in year 3. And then by adding additional revenue streams like consultancy services, we would actually increase our profit to 1.2 million over 5 years. At the bottom of the slide, you'll just see some high-level steps that we anticipate taking over the next 5 years. So getting our branding and any trademarks down, building our low-code solution, designing that product roadmap so we know where we're heading, seeking investment for custom dev solution, and finally getting it out to market and iterating as we go. The next slide is all about traction. It's important to demonstrate how you are reaching traction on your proposed solution. So this could be in the form of sales units, revenue if you've already started taking revenue, media coverage, expressions of interest if you've run any campaigns on Facebook or otherwise, promises of distribution or stocks, the number of paying customers, basically any major goals that you've achieved so far and what your next major steps you plan on taking. As you can see here, I've demonstrated traction by showing that we interviewed a number of interviewees and that 96% of them said that they would use our proposed solution. Of the webinars that I run every month, 90% of those attendees have already pre-registered for the product through a little survey that I've got. And I've also demonstrated that there's over 500 Google searches every month for mobile coffee booking related searches. So this Google search function is really cool and really easy to do. You can go into the Analytics and Insights component of Google and just search in there to see how many Google searches are happening on your specific topic or solution that you are building. Finally, I've demonstrated that there are numerous posts on Facebook groups looking for a mobile coffee vendor, which demonstrates the demand that I have for this solution. What would be even better on this slide would be me being able to show the number of users that we have signed up already. So since doing this initial pitch, we now have 20 users signed up on the platform, and we're building a new custom dev solution for Venderly, our new product, and we will be migrating those 20 users over to the platform once we are ready. So we're almost at the end of the presentation, but it's important to make sure you include a slide about yourself and the team that is building this solution. So why would they want to work with you? What gives you the ability to make this a success? In my case, it's a deep understanding of the problem or target market, but in other people's case, they might have a degree in computer science or app development. Just play to your strengths. You can also call out where there are gaps that you are looking to fill and how you plan to fill those. So currently, this slide was done about a year ago, and I was looking for product designers, developers, or coffee vans or small business lovers who wanted to join me in making this a success. I now have some advisors and mentors working with me, and I'm looking to bring in a tech lead in the next few months. And finally, we like to round out the session with an ask. So this is a call to action. This is your opportunity to ask your audience to help you on this journey. If you're looking for investment, make sure you call out how much and why. You can call out mentoring or advisory, any connections you need, or any team members that you're looking to hire. This is just a good way to remind the audience of what you need from them. In your case, it might be pick me as the winner of this competition. And finally, just a thank you slide. I like to put my contact details on this slide so they can follow up. A QR code to your LinkedIn is an absolute game changer. So a few tips and tricks just to finish. Don't read off the slides or a script. Use the imagery to tell the story. Be prepared for questions. If it's a video pitch, you can record your PowerPoint presentation like I have done here. Face the audience or the camera, use different variations in your tone and emphasize important words and try to speak clearly. Try as hard as possible to enjoy it because that will reflect into the judges' decisions as well. As I've got here on the screen, formatting really does matter. Make sure that your slides are well formatted, the font is correct, and that you've got similar styles across each of the pages. Less is more. Remember, people don't want to be reading off a slide, especially if it is a short presentation. Focus on the problem and who you're solving it for. I did say not to read off a script, but I do think it's important to have a script written so you know kind of what you're about to say. Time your script so that you know it fits within the time slot, and practice. It's always much more comforting to know that you've practiced and you feel prepared to give your pitch. And eye contact is really important when giving any sort of presentation or engaging with an audience. Normally this would be the part where you ask questions, but as this is a recorded session, I have just put my LinkedIn here for you to follow up. I'm more than happy for you to connect with me if you have any questions following the presentation. But for today, that is all. Good luck with the competition, and I hope to see you next time.